Hello and welcome to the Joint Dota League Season number 5 here on HeflaTV 1. This is going to be a best of 2 between Leviathan and Buyback Boulevard. As far as your casters are concerned, I'm GrandisV and I'll be joined by Mikelorus.
Yeah, so we're closing into the end of the series of the season. Actually, Buyback Boulevard have to, I want to say, win the rest of their games and have Leviathan as well as Zucchini lose all of their games. So that's pretty narrow. It's pretty hard for that to happen. So Leviathan have a much better chance at actually getting to Division 1-2 playoffs, but it's not impossible for Buyback Boulevard right now.
No, they're definitely going to be playing their hardest, and right now I'm actually pretty surprised that we have both teams with full 5-man rosters. This game was apparently supposed to be rescheduled, or at the very least Buyback Boulevard weren't in the greatest of situations to play, but, well, we're back in a situation where things are looking, I don't know, pretty good for both sides as far as at least the base circumstances.
Yeah, you don't want to be hamstrung by the fact that one of your players can't make it in one of these games where winning or losing will determine whether or not you have a chance of getting into Division One. It's, far from a high chance, but hey, who knows? The stars might align for Buyback Boulevard, and if they want the stars to align, they're going to have all their players there, and this is actually going to help a lot, picking up an axe. That typically tends to nudge the stars in your favor.
Yeah, definitely so. Just a really good hero, a great initiator to have at your disposal, and it's really weird to see Clockwork prioritized as a ban over that axe.
Yeah, usually we see Axe take that ban spot. Shadow Fiend, also a little bit more of a rare ban that lets like Troll, Bat, Vengeful Spirit, all these really powerful heroes get through the pool. That's not to say that Shadow Fiend is not powerful himself, but Axe is, I think, there's the most powerful hero you have to ban out pretty much every single time, or else he will make your life very, very difficult. Easy nerf to Axe, man. Make his Berserker's Call not go through BKB, then you're fine. But because it does go through, and if it does connect, it will connect every single time, and you will be really pissed off because of it.
Yeah, Leviathan will respond with the Troll Warlord and a Lion, and Buyback Boulevard, will snag up the Lina very early on for their team.
I mean, it's a fine hero. Usually you can get it a little bit later, and there aren't really many strategies that come to mind that heavily signal that you want to go for Alina. She's generally going to be in the pool, much like Wind Ranger. Like, unless you're going to be banning out of respect, those heroes typically get in the pool and kind of serve similar purposes. So Lina's a decent pick for Buyback Boulevard, and it's most likely going to go into their mid lane, I want to say.
Yeah, if it's picked up so early, I think that that's probably a pretty safe assumption. As usually, if it's used as a support, it's picked up later on, and usually you have some sort of setup stun to lead into the LSA. Right now, their initiation on Buyback Boulevard's pretty solid, but as you've already mentioned, Vengeful Spirit and Batrider have both been ignored up until this point. Buyback Boulevard will ban out the Venge now.
All right, and they also take out the Storm Spirit, so they're going to try to hold on to all the initiating power. I think Batrider is still a decent pickup here for Leviathan. It's going to let them have some form of initiation outside of a maybe Blink Lion, which is, of course, always going to be the plan, but it just sometimes never comes together. That being said, even though they may, let's say they do pick up a Batrider third, Buyback Boulevard will eventually have a Blink Dagger on Axe, so that's really dangerous initiation. And Lina, most of the time, goes for Yule Scepter, so that is also single target initiation. Maybe it's not as clean as a Batrider's Lasso, but it definitely get the job done, and it also is very good at countering the Batrider since Yule Scepter comes out so fast.
Well, for now, Bat's not going to be the choice for Leviathan, as they instead decide to go for a Zeus. Their team definitely does not lack damage. In fact, they have a nice mix of both physical and magic damage, very heavy in magic coming up from the Lion and Zeus. But actually starting fights is a different story entirely, except for that Blink Dagger that you alluded to on the Lion. There really isn't anything guaranteed, and a Blink on Lion isn't going to be coming out for the early portion of the game at the very least.
Yeah, so for Leviathan, they're pretty much more so on the brute force plan. That's kind of weird to say when there's a team with Axe on the other end. But, I mean, they just have so much damage. That's what they have. Troll Warlord is going to be dishing a lot of physical, and Zeus is going to be dishing a lot of magical. And, of course, Lion does the exact same thing. The Rubik pickup is actually pretty solid for Buyback Boulevard. It's, again, a kind of a counter pick or a dissuasion pick towards that Batrider for Leviathan if they're still considering it, or if they're considering it at all. Don't really want to go for it now that there are so many quick ways that Buyback Boulevard can disrupt that. But also that null field is actually going to get some serious value in that game. One of the lesser picked aspects of Rubik, but still pretty relevant.
Yeah, it's not going to come into play until a little bit later on. Usually when you're first starting out with Rubik, you're going to prioritize the lift and the nuke, but yeah, as you said, like, it is going to be very useful for the team in its entirety. It also gives them a setup stun for LSA before Yule Scepter comes out. Could be impactful if Rubik is ganking the mid lane. Leviathan actually going to pick up a Keeper of the Light next. Very interesting pick. Doesn't really feel like it fits with the rest of their three.
It's not exactly here that you want to have versus what Buyback Boulevard have. I don't really see any huge counterplay there. Usually, Keeper of the Light more. Well, I mean, he's very rare. When you do pick him up, you typically he's on counter push duty or on some really weird shenanigan duty with the recall. Like even Blinding Light in this particular game doesn't really have that great value. If you're going up against Troll Warlord, Blinding Light gets a lot better, but then BKBs just nullify all of that. So not too sure how this Keeper Light is going to be used. This is going to shove the Zeus most likely into a core role, and it's impossible, I guess, to see Leviathan run an offensive tri-lane. If you somehow manage to keep the enemies still, then Illuminate will blow them all up, but maybe not so anymore. Undying is going to trump Keeper of the Light in tri-lanes, 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, I think that the plan maybe for this Keeper of the Light was just to keep the Zeus completely juiced up when it comes to mana and just allow him to spam Thunderbolts to his heart's content, but as you said already, Buyback Boulevard with this Undying pick are going to make it a lot less attractive for Leviathan to go for any sort of aggressive lane, be it duel or a try, and it's up to Buyback Boulevard to try to get that matchup, to find the Undying up against a handful of heroes so Decay can really get a lot of use. And it can. Up against Leviathan's side, all of their heroes at this point have very low base HP pools, and Decay is going to be eating a large chunk of that.
And even outside of that, just the Undying is such a powerhouse when you're going for a very aggressive strategy. The Rubik is really the only one on Buyback Boulevard who isn't packing an absolute cannon. The rest of them can shred the low HP heroes of Leviathan so very easily. So this is a very dangerous lineup from Buyback Boulevard. They are lacking that mid to late game, more damage dealy type role, similar to the Troll Warlord on Leviathan. But if they grab like a Luna or something like that, then their pushing is going to be really intense. And Leviathan, though they do have the Keeper of the Light, will be prepared for the pushes. They won't be prepared for the brawls. And that's what they really have to be scared of, because Keeper of the Light is absolutely useless in that scenario.
Yeah, it should be an interesting game at the very least. For Leviathan's last pick, I have no idea how these lanes are actually going to shake down in their entirety. It is possible that Troll Warlord takes up mid, and then you throw Zeus into some other farming core position, and it's also possible that you go for an aggressive tri-lane. There's a lot of different ways that Leviathan could run their heroes, so really his fifth pick is up to them. Buyback Boulevard ban out the Dusa.
And similar to Leviathan, Buyback Boulevard have quite a few ways that they could lane it themselves, ranging from Axe mid to Undying solo off lane or something like that. They could do a hell of a lot of things, and in that point, it's a guessing game. Will Buyback Boulevard be able to guess where Leviathan put their heroes, and then will they be able to get the favorable matchups there? So it's up to Buyback Boulevard, and that is the advantage that you get when you pick up a draft that is inherently flexible. Viper's the last pick for Leviathan, and, well, I mean, they ended up with a pretty solid draft. Keeper of the Light still kind of sticks out a little bit. Swap him out with, like, a Vengeful Spirit, and there you go, you're golden. That's pretty much cookie cutter. But outside of that, it's still pretty stable.
Yeah, it doesn't answer the question where these lanes are going to end up, but yeah, as you said, it's a pretty nice draft. All things considered for Leviathan. Again, they are very focused on damage and very lockdown light. Maybe that's something that Buyback Boulevard can end up abusing. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing something like a Weaver, but then again, he could just get completely blown the heck up.
Weaver won't be the worst. I think somewhere along those lines would be decent, like Morphling or something like that. A little bit more survivable as far as just raw HP pool is concerned, but someone who definitely can't abuse the fact that Leviathan have only the Lion to throw out those disables. Small credit to the Troll Warlord in being able to bash, and maybe a mana leak, but those are hopeful at best. But for Buyback Boulevard, their matchups are kind of coming together. Like, outside of Leviathan's kind of awkward laning stage, or laning assignments, Lina going mid is going to be decent versus pretty much anyone. Leviathan a little bit worse versus Viper, but what are you going to do? I'm still thinking they're going to be looking for. I'm actually thinking they're looking for a solo here right now. They might want to run Axe Undying Rubik offensively. That's pretty darn dangerous.
Yeah, it is. If you can catch a lift onto anybody, they're pretty much dead. If you have the levels to back it up, that is. Or even you can throw the axe towards the jungle and just leave the Undying with another hero in the lane, or even by himself. I'm not sure Leviathan really could punish that depending on how these lanes shake down.
It's one of the rarer laning assignments that we see Axe going towards the jungle, but it definitely does work. He clears extremely quickly, and he makes great usage of stacks. It's going to be a win ranger for Buyback Boulevard. They're pretty much purely in the mid game right now. If this game does drag on, the Troll Warlord and Viper will be doing a hell of a lot more than Wind Ranger Lina. Even though, Wind Ranger Lina, the two redheads, not completely useless in the late game, they do tend to fall off. So it's up to Buyback Boulevard to take control of the early game and then try to ride that into a mid-game victory, or at least some substantial structural damage on Leviathan's base.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is up to the Undying and how aggressive they're able to play early on, and if they're able to get the kills to start the game off, it should be an interesting match.
All right, so this is kind of weird how I just mentioned Wind Ranger previously. I like how they saved that for last, and I guess it didn't change what Leviathan were going to be doing, but it is definitely refreshing to see Buyback Boulevard and even Leviathan bring out some of the lesser seen guns. Not to say that they're not as big, but yeah, Wind Ranger, Undying, Keeper of the Light. You don't see these heroes every day, even though they are all pretty strong in their own right. They all have their place. That place is very rarely seen nowadays in a world dominated by axes and trolls and whatnot.
Well, to introduce the Buyback Boulevard side of the map, they're playing on the Radiant with JMS playing on the Axe. Chemistry is going to be handling the Rubik. Auto attacks on the Undying. Too Much Bang Bang on the Lina. And Meth on the Wind Ranger.
And for the Leviathan side, we got playing that Zeus. It's going to be Jenkins. Nusham's going to be playing the Lion with Flying Zebra on the Keeper of the Light. Again, that means Shredder is on the Troll Warlord, and that leaves Shibby, who's going to be handling the Viper. Currently, all of them heading down towards the bottom lane. Zeus does have boots first, as does Lion, so that can result into a pretty aggressive playstyle, and they might actually be running into each other at level 1. In that case, it looks fairly even, this level 1 brawl, if it does come to be.
It really kind of depends on where auto attacks is and all of that. However, if his positioning is good on the Undying, I'd be really tempted to favor Buyback Boulevard in a level 1 skirmish, but we'll have to see how it breaks down. Leviathan is smoked up as a 5-man unit. Everybody is under that guise of smoke, and maybe they'll catch out the Lina as the rest of her heroes are going out by themselves. Smoke's going to break, and they spot out the Rubik. Chemistry in a very bad spot. Is going to be tagged by one poison attack. Lifts up the Vipers. They instead decide to go on the lean on the backlines. With the Earth Spike landing, Shredder is able to shred apart that very squishy hero. And well, Leviathan find themselves too, as they also get that Rubik kill from previous. Buyback Boulevard not expecting that at all.
Smart move there by Leviathan, going for both targets. You have a Lion and Troll Warlord there. That's more than enough damage to kill off someone as weak and, quite frankly, as slow as Alina. Whereas for the Rubik, he was stuck in the neutral camp, and you're not going to be escaping that one. Even if you, well, the only chance you have of escaping is if you, like, eat your way through all the trees, and then you have no tangos. So either way, it was going to be a nice win for Leviathan. And as far as positioning is concerned and initiating that fight, it pretty much doesn't get any better than that. You converge perfectly, surround a target as well as getting another one as bonus. To Leviathan starting at a quick 2-0, and, well, as you said, he probably can't get a much better start than this. Who actually got those kills? Look like Zeus and Lion were the ones to get the last hits.
Those are pretty good heroes to get that extra bit of golden experience to start things off. The lane situation for Leviathan is going to be that dual lane off lane I talked about very early on in the draft with Zeus and Keeper of the Light. Just allowing him to spam pretty much non-stop, and it is going to be against a dual lane of Rubik and Lina, whereas for the top lane, it's Undying Axe against the Troll and Lion. A lot of killing potential in pretty much all of these lanes, with the exception being mid.
The problem right now for this top lane for Buyback Boulevard is the fact that Axe will not be able to set up for the Undying. The Undying will be able to chip away at the Troll with decays and whatnot, but as far as actually killing him off, the Troll Warlord's going to have to make a major error and get really close to the Axe, and then get caught in a call, then the Tombstone, and then all that bad stuff. Other than that, if Shredder just keeps his distance, there's no real easy way for Buyback Boulevard to close that gap, and if they do, then Nusham's just right around the corner with, granted, only level 1 Spike, but it's going to be enough to help the Troll disengage. So, though this top lane is prime for shenanigans for the Buyback Boulevard side, they won't easily be able to get kills.
Yeah, especially not until level 2 or 3 even. Chemistry down towards bottom, dropping incredibly low, trying for a TP out. There is no bolt to cancel this. Will the damage be there? No. Jenkins going for the second point into the passive. It's going to cost him that kill. A little bit unfortunate for Leviathan, but at the very least, they're still able to stay in this lane and keep up the pressure. Lina and Rubik not having a good time.
And this is actually working out pretty well for Leviathan as far as their lanes are concerned. As you said before, this is kind of the goal. I think maybe the main goal of the Keeper of the Light, just to keep funneling mana into Jenkins so that he can keep pushing the wave, keep harassing. And ordinarily, if this lane is going to be going up against, let's say, an Undying Rubik Lina tri-lane, then this Zeus is just going to get crushed, and there's no two ways about it. But because he's just up against a Lina and a Rubik, yeah, they can kill off the Zeus. Lina Rubik is actually pretty dangerous. But most of the time, Zeus is going to be just fine. He'll be able to keep his distance, not to mention the fact that he has Tranquils and still Tangos to help him keep his health pool full. So just this bottom lane on Leviathan is going very well, and I don't think auto attacks being here is really going to help out that much.
Yushim going to need a spike as well as ranged axes up towards top, and following up with the Hex, he actually turns back into him while he's a frog and ends up getting bashed down. Lift up onto Shredder, going to pull the troll back, but the damage isn't there immediately. It's only a level 1 Rubik. No availability of that Fade Bolt means that Leviathan start things off with a 3-0.
And this start for Leviathan is just getting better and better. Killing an Axe off in his laning phase is really, really difficult, especially when Lion isn't exactly packing the largest amount of levels. The laning swap has occurred for Buyback Boulevard, and I think this is actually a lot better for them. They have now the ability to kill off Shredder if they grab him with the pull, bring him into the Axe with a call. That's a pretty easy kill, and for Lina and Undying, their kill potential is certainly there just by sheer burst alone. 2 spells, and all of a sudden, Flying Zebra and Jenkins both are near death.
Yeah, we'll be forced back to sit Tranquil Boots up as well as Tango up until they can actually get to a reasonable amount of HP. But yeah, this is definitely much better for Buyback Boulevard. It was kind of hard to guess what Leviathan were going to do, so it kind of makes sense that they weren't able to get it right off of the bat. The lane that we haven't talked about much is mid lane, and that's probably because it's not incredibly interesting. Meth is able to continuously farm, although the Viper does have a pretty significant edge.
And that's probably going to be the case for most Viper matchups. The Wind Ranger does have the nice advantage of being able to just Wind Run straight away should she get Viper struck. She's not going to get that much distance away from the Viper, but it will be usually enough to keep herself safe. So unlike some other matchups for Viper where he hits level 6 and he's instantly going for kills, this is probably not going to be one of those lanes. So it's pretty reasonable for Meth to just sit in the mid lane, spam out some power shots occasionally, and well, most likely he'll be pretty much happy to roam around when he finds a good rune. But as you said, otherwise the Viper is going to have a better time. It's pretty rare that we see straight dual lanes for both teams, but I think overall Leviathan, even if they haven't gotten any of these kills, would be sitting a little bit more pretty than Buyback Boulevard.
Yeah, definitely so. Too much Bang Bang dropping very low on bottom, but they're baiting them into the Tombstone. The Illuminate coming out is going to kill off one and making a 1-for-1 trade as Zeus also loses his life to auto attacks. Fighting into the tomb is really not possible for Leviathan's heroes, and Flying Zebra is dropping low trying to. He'll be able to pick up that last hit though.
It's a reasonable trade for both sides, honestly. Just a 1-for-1. Gonna get Buyback Boulevard on the scoreboard. Unfortunately for them, their Lina dies before she kills off the Zeus, and you really want your Lina to be the ones with those levels. Similarly for Leviathan, you want the Zeus to be getting levels, and he did, so worked out pretty well for them. Jenkins, now level 5, is quickly approaching the point where he could pretty much insta-give one of these heroes if he unleashes an entire combo. It's already doing a hell of a lot of damage, but if Lina doesn't have fast reflexes with the magic wand, or if there's a quick soul rip from the Undying, they might just die to this lightning damage. Zeus is just dishing right now.
Yeah, this is really the threat of this lane. A Zeus with infinite mana is a very scary Zeus indeed. For now, they're going to give him enough space, but Jenkins is left pretty much alone in this lane. Whenever they come up, too much Bang Bang as well as auto attacks eat bolts just like this. They're going to drop the Tombstone. Jenkins down to about 200 HP, but turning around for a little bit more thunder damage. And although the Undying is going to survive, the Zeus isn't going to be so lucky as a long-range Dragon Slave is going to be enough to get that kill. Meantime, Troll up towards top ends up dying to the lift into the Axe combination.
Yeah, they were trying to go for the kill on the Axe, and then they spiked up the Rubik instead, tried to change targets, and they just didn't have enough gas in the tank. They're also going to find Shibi in the jungle. He does have phase boost, so he's pretty fast, and Chemistry tagged with the Viper Strike won't outright die to that, but one more right click, he will go down, and Meth can do nothing to help. I thought the Viper was the one to get ganked there, but Rubik having less than half HP to start things off, definitely less than ideal. It's a nice kill for Leviathan, but they end up giving away 2 very important heroes on their own side. So in the grand scheme of things, it's Buyback Boulevard feeling pretty good about how the past couple of minutes have been.
Yeah, Shibi is going for a very interesting and very aggressive Viper build. 3 points up in the Nether Toxin, 2 in the Poison attack. He's very threatening, but not without being able to die if Buyback Boulevard actually rotate into his lane. But I think this is one of the biggest benefits of having dual lanes versus dual lanes. Illuminate not going to connect onto too much. Bang, bang. They just need a little bit more thunder damage. He misses the bolt, and Jenkins won't be able to get that kill.
Oh man, how do you miss a bolt? That's point, click, easy. Maybe he got fogged a little bit there, but from where I was watching, it didn't look like it. Regardless, Jenkins not going to get that kill, and Thunder God's Wrath now off the table. Over towards mid, Shibby going to dive deep for the Rubik. However, now Meth is on his tail. Shibby doesn't really have much to escape from this. He's going to drag the wind range into tower range, and that's going to kill her. If Meth stopped here instead of here, then that would have been most likely Viper to die, but Wind Ranger just wind ran a little bit too far.
The bonus damage from level 3 Nether Toxin is no joke. That one attack landing from Shibby did upwards of 150 damage. It's ridiculous. He's going to be going in towards a mechanism next, and really that Viper surviving is pretty darn huge. 3-0 and 1. Shibby's having a grand old time. Zeus does eventually get the kill onto the Lina. Just being able to nuke her down this time around, he is going to be able to connect with all of that. And auto attack's also not going to be too comfortable. Even after giving up his life once or twice, it doesn't really seem to slow down this Leviathan dual lane at all.
It turns out having a Zeus with infinite mana is pretty good. Lightning Bolt does a crap ton of damage, and going up against an inherently weak hero like Lina, even though she has gone for both Bracer and Magic Wand to kind of help her bulk up, it's very easy to take those kills. They're going to get jumped by auto attacks with the Tombstone down. A couple of zombies are on Jenkins, but it's definitely not enough, especially with the Blinding Light knocking that Lina back. If she landed her combo, yeah, it's going to be an easy kill, but just a little bit too slow with only brown boots.
Yeah, and it's also something that they need to be worried about. Jenkins isn't full mana or close enough to get his full combination off, and could do the same to the Lina if given enough space. For now, Tombstone on cooldown is going to allow Leviathan to breathe a little bit easier in this bottom lane.
Yeah, they're just going to keep on dumping damage into the Lina and take kills when they can get it. Did Keeper Light just recall someone? No, I thought I saw him waving his wand. Okay, never mind. That was just me hallucinating, apparently. Regardless, this Keeper Light will be able to do that and probably won't bring anyone in just yet, as Nusham is getting some good experience up on top. But bringing in a Lion can suddenly mean that this dual lane turns into a tri-lane that's capable of killing off the Undying very easily. Bang Bang is going to dodge and illuminate, has auto attacks coming in, looking for an LSA. That will also whiff. Auto attacks doesn't have much mana here. He will stick up. Thunder God's Wrath, though, will kill him off. Laguna Blade in return. Zeus will die to the Lina with another Illuminate missing. Flying Zebra has got to get the hell out of here. However, there are way too many zombies on his tail, and Bang Bang has another easy kill lined up for himself. He's going to Dragon Slave for the second, and it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Bang Bang, of too much Bang Bang, as now he grabs Phase Boots, and yeah, level 9 Lina is doing a lot of damage, comparable to the Zeus even.
Yeah, fighting around the Tombstone is not something you can afford to be doing. Leviathan's heroes are innately very squishy, and those zombies do a lot of work. Up towards top, slow into Nusham. They're going to turn around onto the axe with the ultimate, but Shredder's making this axe spin too many times. Lift it up, they'll finger down the axe, and it's a double kill for Nusham as he right-clicks down the Rubik too.
That was a little bit unfortunate for Buyback Boulevard. They were tower diving, like pure tower diving. They had the Rubik taking the tower aggro, no creeps there to back them up. And yeah, going for the Lion is pretty nice. He's very easy to kill off. That's a little bit bold. No matter what the situation, if you're going to be diving like that, at least have the axe take tower aggro. So maybe they didn't expect the Troll Warlord to be there, as Shredder has been jungling for the past couple of minutes, minute and a half, something like that. But still, that was pretty bold, and I actually really like how Shredder is jungling. He's getting his farm, and at the same time, he's letting Nusham get his farm. That Blink Dagger online that we were talking about in the draft might be coming up a lot faster than we ordinarily see, assuming he doesn't get killed right now. And I'm pretty sure he's not going to be able to slip out of this one if an LSA lands.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that does connect, and hopefully for the Lion, he's able to get his farm for the Blink Dagger before he ends up dying. But instead, they look for Shredder deeper into the woods with this smoke. They don't find him immediately, but then bump into him. LSA is going to be on the mark. Shredder is going to eat a Dragon Slave. The Tombstone's down on the ground with the finger, or not the finger, but Laguna Blade rather. It is going to be more than enough damage to kill him off. But Nusham does get his Blink Dagger gold, so in the end, that could have gone a lot worse. But in the meantime, they also lose a Keeper of Light next to the Roshan pit.
They also take down the Zeus in that same area as well. Buyback Boulevard having a nice 3v2, and these three heroes, though they're doing a lot of damage, can't really take what they dish out. So if Buyback Boulevard are on the offensive versus the Zeus and the Keeper of the Light, then pretty much every single time they will be coming out ahead. And you know, even though it's really nice to have these nice glass cannons, you can't really count on that always working out, especially as the Wind Ranger gets more levels. If she lands a shackle shot ever, you're pretty much screwed. Similar to the Axe, if he lands a call ever, then those heroes are just going to die. So this is the fragility of those heroes we were talking about earlier. Zeus is going to try to go for an Axe, however, chemistry is going to get that was actually stolen Blinding Light. I don't really know if that was worth it because now Zeus is right on his tail. Another bolt will get the kill here. Chemistry needs to TP out. He won't really get the chance to. Whirling Axe's range, giving the vision for Whirling Axe's melee to do the damage there, and it's once again Rubik to be the casualty for Buyback Boulevard.
Well, first Blink Dagger again coming out from Nusham still hasn't actually come to fruition, and he has showed this off to the Creep Wave, but it's still a wonderful tool to have at Leviathan's disposal. Haste Rune on Chibi is also pretty darn good. He's hunting deep behind enemy lines to try to find somebody to stick on, but can't actually find them. Nobody is farming up inside these large camps right now. Axe trying to get out of the way. Jenkins attempts for the bolt, but can't actually connect with the Axe, who's a little further south, and the ultimate wouldn't be fatal, so he's not going to throw it either way.
Well, Chibi is going to rejoin with the rest of his team. This is where you want to be fighting as an Undying Lina Wind Ranger. This is, prime time, prime positioning as well to go into Leviathan. The problem is they're going up the high ground. They're going to be blinding walking up. However, there's an LSA opportunity right now that will miss. Shackle does land to Chibi, but he's the tankiest target. He also has that mech, and they're just not doing enough damage right now. Illuminate flying through all of them. Chibi's still alive for right now. Will end up dying to a bolt. Auto attacks will be the trade, though, as the Viper poison damage was enough. They're going to chase forward for more. Chemistry doesn't really have the HP pool to support this. They really want to go for Flying Zebra, though, with the phase boost jump popped. LSA will miss. Now Flying Zebra, he's getting TP support from Nusham. Finger Death on the Bang Bang. One more smack on a Chemistry. That'll get 2 kills for him. In the meantime, Shredder, he's going to go mano a mano versus this Axe. He's being chased down, and he's going to try to turn a man fight. Getting a couple of bashes. Won't quite be enough. His power shot does get the kill, but Nusham's going to collect another. That's the triple kill for the Lion. Now looking to make it 4. The Alpha Wolf going to give them a little bit of vision as Axe does blink deep into the trees. Problem being for the Axe is that, though he is hidden for right now, he doesn't have a TP, and the Wolf is right on top of him. Nusham not quite going to collect that quad, but still, this Lion showing off his Blink Dagger for 3 kills, and a very nicely won fight for the team. That's pretty darn good.
Well, all things considered, it's pretty even, I'd say, just because the Viper died to start that off, but it is still really nice, and the Lion is going to be halfway towards an Agnum Scepter if he wants it. In fact, he's the second highest net worth in the game, 6-0 and 2, and he actually isn't farming that slowly either. He's been given so much room by the Leviathan side, as after getting that Morbid Mask and Helm of the Dominator Patrol has pretty much been jungling straight up, so this is a core Lion for all intents and purposes. He has a 4-staff up now too.
This is going to be costing Shredder a little bit of damage output, as clearing the jungle is inherently a little bit slower than clearing out lanes as far as farm is concerned. They're going to catch Flying Zebra as he tries to reinforce. However, he does have an Illuminate there, which will destroy the Rubik's HP pool. Power shot flying through, and Shredder and Nusham in a little bit of trouble. However, they spike onto 2 heroes, and they will be able to disengage because of it. At the same time, Chemistry is going to die to Chibi in the back lines. They're going to throw out another Illuminate. Axe, though, going to jump in for a call into 3. They'll blow up the Zeus with the Laguna Blade. Now going towards Flying Zebra, who is going to get a little bit of room, but I don't think he can escape. He will be chased down by the Axe, and he will be going down. Chibi, now in a 1 versus 4, is going to try to go for the Lina, and he's very tanky, but he's not this tanky. He needs some help right now. His help is right around the corner, but Nusham can't jump into this one either. Shredder, even with a double damage rune, got warded off from the very beginning, and that will be a very nicely won team fight by Boulevard, except for this Lina, who's going to get jumped, walking right past an Observer Ward. Blink Spike, going to give the Lion his 7th kill of the game, ultimately making it a little bit more even, but still in favor of the Radiant.
Yeah, unfortunate for Leviathan, that could have gone very good for them, but in the end, Undying just finding a really good tombstone spot, and all of these clumped little engagements are so great for Buyback Boulevard. Good Axe call too, even though he's missed a couple of his calls. As long as the calls are on point, it seems to be working out for Buyback Boulevard. Again, it's the Lion to collect pretty big in all of these exchanges, and although the Viper is still at the top of the net worth chart, it really doesn't feel like they're able to fight that way just because of how fragile their heroes are.
Viper is the tanky one, and he has to be in the front. The problem is, when you're in the front, you're not going to be able to do that much damage. That's where the level 2 Corrosive skin is really going to be biting Chibi in the ass. He's going to wish that he could transfer 2 points of that Nether Toxin into Corrosive, because Nether Toxin only works if you're not being completely destroyed by all of the enemies at the same time. So Viper is going to get a little bit more tanky with those 2 final points, and of course with his build as well. They're going to jump onto Meth with a Blink Spike. Very easily done, killed there. teleport in from Rubik. He will catch Shibby. He got body blocked a little bit by the creeps. X stolen by Chemistry, but he's going to take a Viper Strike to the dome. The Tombstone is on the ground. Flying Zebra is here, but the call is going to come through onto 2. This Axe, though, has to disengage very quickly. He will take a lot of damage, but with the haste rune will keep himself safe. Zombies everywhere as Bang Bang's going to try to follow up, but he misses the LSA. And there is a retaliation illuminate. Leviathan, they're able to back off after taking just 1 kill, but that was pretty dangerous, so they should be pretty happy that they were able to escape, because in the meantime, Shredder is just roshing. He might be caught out right now by Lina, and if he does, he might just be dead. The Dragon Slave is actually going to miss, and Shredder can man-fight this one. He does have help kind of nearby, but Roshan is going to be stalled out once again, and it is very, very low.
Indeed it is. Right now, Shredder is not able to actually go into that pit, although he is bringing some support from the north. Zeus going to throw out 1 chain over towards the Axe, but now too much Bang Bang is isolated with the Viper. Not a situation that Lina can be in. With the Zeus ultimate, they get absolutely demolished. Axe dying up to the north, and that'll secure Roshan for Leviathan. They might even be able to chase for some more auto attacks. Illuminate long range going to connect, and Jenkins gets himself a double kill with another chain lightning.
Man, that was the fight that Leviathan were waiting for. Like, after all of these small skirmishes, that's the ultimate one, because they take the kill advantage at 3 for 0 in their favor. Not to mention the fact that Troll Warlord was in the Roshan pit, clearing that out the entire time. And the rest of the Buyback Boulevard heroes weren't really doing anything in the meantime. No substantial split pushing going on. Minor amounts of farm for Chemistry, but farm on the Rubik isn't really going to be winning you any games anytime soon. Maybe a Blink Dagger will help, but he's very far away from that. So it's a huge amount of gain right there for Leviathan. And now it's just a matter of actually using this Aegis. I'm pretty sure they're just going to end up in another brawl, and this Aegis is going to get value. But even if that doesn't happen, they could just go for a little bit more aggressive plays towards these towers, and then probably take them down without too much of a fuss if Buyback Boulevard don't want to fight it.
Well, that was an attempted Q play coming out from Leviathan. They were calling back the Lion, who was trying to get in range for a Blink, Spike, and Finger onto the Rubik, but in the end didn't happen. So Newsham's just going to be pulled down towards bottom as they spot out too much Bang Bang, and she's going to be at the receiving end of that Finger of Death. Hexed up and is going to die, not to the neutrals, although it was close.
That was really close. Newsham, though, going to claim his 8th kill of the game. Flying Zebra getting in there for a little bit of experience. So, no, he's actually out of experience range. Never mind, but Newsham doing it by himself. He has so much kill potential right now, and he has a lot of mobility as well. So, killing this Lion, though very possible for Buyback Boulevard, is only possible should they lock him down with one of their stuns. And that's not going to be happening when the Lion is always on top of your Lina. He has 2,000 gold right now. I don't know what you go for as a Lion, as a support Lion who has this much cash. Maybe Aghanim Scepter looking a little bit more appealing this game?
Yeah, I think that Ags is probably the course of action. Honestly, could get away with anything, though. Mid lane, they'll throw a Viper Strike and a couple of poison attacks into the Undying, but with TP support and with the Axe close by, Chibi isn't going to feel comfortable going for any more. Rubik gets the tower denial in mid.
Up towards top, though, Lion is on the hunt, and this time it's going to be the Wind Ranger to feel the wrath, or Lina if he lines up a nice 2-manner. He has the Troll in backup right now. Newsham's going to go straight for the Lina. This time, though, he does not have his Finger of Death. Troll Warlord has to do the damage instead. They will land the Viper Strike, and then now Jenkins from the base is going to steal that kill. Well done, Zeus. Pretty standard Zeus contributions right there. But another kill is another kill for Leviathan, and they're right in a good position to go for this tower push following.
Yeah, they can do so very easily. With the Aegis in tow, I don't expect Buyback Boulevard to even attempt to defend this tier 1 tower. It's probably just not worth it. They'll look to get as much farm as they can over in the other lanes. Maybe there's a power shot thrown here or there from Meth. That's probably all that they're going to commit to it.
Shredder, he can play as aggressively as he really wants to. They're going to wrap around for another Lion Spike. Finger Death is going to be committed, and that will be yet another kill. Troll Warlord is going to steal that one away. Newsham's killing spree is slowly slipping because his allies are taking all the kills, but that's fine. 807 is still absolutely freaking fantastic for any hero, let alone a support Lion. Shibi now has that Aghanim Scepter, and Troll Warlord is very close to a BKB. They're going to feel comfortable enough to go for a little bit more, and that is because Keeper of the Light in 10 seconds can start yanking both the Zeus and Lion back into this top lane push.
Although about 5 minutes ago, the advantage was only about 4,000, which is something that's very easily to come back from. And it was at there for quite some time. Buyback Boulevard were still able to fight into it. Leviathan have very easily pulled ahead. Jump in for a call, coming out from the Axe. Only catches out Shibi. There's a Tombstone on the ground too, but too much Bang Bang is going to be eating too much damage. Leviathan kill him off, and now kill off the Tombstone in kind, even though there's a heal from the Undying to try to help that. It just feels like Buyback Boulevard are too far behind to actually take any straight engagement.
And a blink call into 1 is not the way that they're going to open up an engagement if they were to be coming back. They need, at this point, at least a call onto 3, I think, to really convincingly take it. 2 will let them fight, but not having Axe get a little bit too close. He has a Force Staff, but good luck getting out with that Force Staff because Hex at this point is maxed out and has been maxed out for a hell of a long time. This Aegis is still being held by the Troll Warlord. The tier 2 is down, and they really don't have to stop. This Viper is really tanky. This Troll Warlord has a double life, and their Lion is holding on to a level 3 Finger of Death. If anyone gets close to this top lane, then they probably will be regretting that very shortly. They are going to TP up as they have to defend their top lane. You really can't let that tower fall this early in the game, but Leviathan, they go up towards top, they systematically dismantle all the towers, and now they're really collecting the benefits. With an Aghanim Scepter up on Zeus from all that tower gold, BKB completed on Troll, this is going to get to a really scary stage for Buyback Boulevard, and in fact it might already be there.
The big question is, what is Lion going to pick up? Is this a Radiance line? No, he's going to go into an Aghanim Scepter. He's sitting on almost enough gold to buy a Relic, but yeah, he's going to have that Scepter completed very shortly, and this is the most farm I've ever seen on a Lion 22 minutes in the game, I want to say.
Probably. Like, I don't keep track, and I'm pretty sure you don't either, but just eyeballing it, this Lion is so much more farmed than, hell, most heroes at this point, and especially considering he's just a Lion. Having an Aghanim Scepter here would make it the grand total of 3 Aghanim Scepters, which is certainly very nice. They're going to try to go for a little bit more pressure to the enemy base. Will be a little bit more difficult now that Shredder no longer is holding on to that Aegis, but even if they don't take the towers, their ability to split push is not going to be easy for Buyback Boulevard to deal with, because Flying Zebra, wherever he goes, the rest of the team will follow, given that recall having only 15-second cooldown.
Yeah, for now it's going to be the Lion to be recalled in, and Leviathan are currently a 5-man unit in bottom lane, and they can very easily take this tower and take the fight too. Although Buyback Boulevard want to put an end to this, they're going to look to smoke and invade the backlines of Leviathan, but right now their positioning is pretty good. Maybe they can snipe out Jenkins beforehand, but he's also not the easiest target to kill. They'll blink in. They don't get a call onto anybody. Force Staff forward. He eventually finds Viper as well as the Keeper of the Light. But the Aghanim Scepter, not Laguna Blade, but Finger of Death and Laguna Blade are going to be traded on the backlines. And Lina is going to town, but Shredder with that BKB can't be stopped. He's going to be able to cleave down another kill, and now continues to chase onto the Lina with the ranged access to slow them down. Things are completely going off the rails for Buyback Boulevard. It's going to be a triple kill for Shibby and a double kill for Shredder and a full 5-man wide. All things considered.
It was kind of an awkward initiation there for Buyback Boulevard, but they ended up having a decent one with the 2-man call, and it doesn't really matter how you get there. As long as you do get there in the end, you should be pretty happy. That being said, they were also trying to go for the Zeus at the exact same time, which is the play that you want to be making. You know, initiate onto Viper, keep him out of the fray, ideally for the Troll Warlord as well, while at the same time going for the real heavy hitters of Leviathan, the real soft heavy hitters. The game plan was good, but unfortunately they didn't kill off the Zeus outright. He was able to get his ultimate off, and that's a level 2 ultimate with Aghanim Scepter, with of course the static field into everyone as well. And then at that point it was just too late once the Troll Warlord popped his BKB, because everyone with Buyback Boulevard were already half dead. So yeah, and just like that, it's a good game. Leviathan dismantled Buyback Boulevard.
Yeah, I can't blame them at all. It was really well coordinated coming out from Leviathan, although there was a time where they stalled out and weren't able to get any major objectives. All it took was 1 or 2 fights going the way, and I mean, that Lion performance was absolutely stellar. I don't think he can ask for much more. Let's see if Buyback Boulevard are going to be able to come back in game number 2, and if they want a shot at going into Division 1, they kind of need to win this next game. I'm not even sure if they can anymore, but we'll just have to find out. Leviathan come out with a 1-game victory, and well, game 2 will be coming up next. Don't go anywhere.